Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I am your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. I'm also a registered legal document assistant, LDA, based in the greater Los Angeles area. That means if you're based in California and you're doing a California divorce, I can help you with your paperwork. If you're based in another state, I can't help you with your paperwork, but I can mediate all over the country. All right. You want to do mediation, but your spouse is like, what? No. What are you going to do when your spouse is not on board with mediation? Sometimes there's nothing you can do. Other times there are. So let's talk about what you can do if you find yourself in that very common situation. Because your goal is really to shift this conversation and plant the seeds for resolution. Part of our problem in this country is the way divorce is structured. It's structured like a war. This isn't a war. Listen, you did not get married to join two countries together. And because you're getting a divorce, there's no war, right? Like you're not political allies where this is a political marriage. No, you got married. You're normal people. Fates of the world are not resting on your shoulders. So why then is our system set up in such a way to make any sort of divorce a war, any sort of divorce a moral decision where someone is good and someone is bad? I mean, and come on, there are good people and bad people, and there's a lot of good people that have bad inside of them. We're nuanced, we're human. Okay? This isn't about judgment. The fact of the matter is a divorce is happening. It's happening. You can't stay married because your church told you to stay married. You can't stay married because the state is like, well, okay, but this is a lawsuit and it's going to be sued and your spouse feels threatened. No, you're going to get a divorce no matter what. All right. But every time people get a divorce and they choose to do it a more peaceful way, it changes the narrative and it changes the system. Hopefully, the official system will wake up. But let's talk about your spouse. First of all, your spouse might be resistant to the idea of mediation because you found the mediator. Oh, they're on her side. They on his side. So they, first of all, probably don't understand mediation and don't understand that this person is neutral. If you end up with a mediator that you don't feel is neutral, stop. Stop meeting with them and find a different neutral because that person has stopped being neutral. And if they feel like they can't be neutral, they should be telling you that. Oh, I don't think I can be neutral here. All right. And then you can find someone else who is. But people think that mediation means a compromise. Mediation does not mean compromise. It's collaborative. It's a coming together where it's not just cut in the middle. So they think of things as a lose-lose. They think of mediation as giving in. I just spoke to someone the other day who said, I really want to talk to you and hear it from you, not from them, because I don't know if they're telling me the truth. And my friends have just been telling me to lawyer up, that this is not how you do this. We go to war, we're going to the death. Please don't. Please don't. I need to not use that. I don't want to use it anymore because family law can get really dangerous. So that's a euphemism. So I'm not going to use it anymore. But we are fighting until I get everything and you get nothing. Sort of the scorched earth method. And they want revenge, but they don't call it that. They call it fair. I just want what's fair. Yeah, I do have people come to mediation who say that to me, and I'm just like, you lying. No. You don't want what's fair. Because if you wanted what was fair, you would just go to court. You usually want more. You want more. Okay? So sometimes your spouse doesn't want to mediate because they want more. Or they think that they're entitled to more than what they actually are. Or they don't want to be creative. Or it's that they don't actually want to make the decisions themselves. They want a stranger in a black robe to tell them what to do because they want to not be responsible for the outcome. They want to blame shift to someone else. Those are possible. Now, your job as a spouse is not to convince your spouse that they need to mediate, you just have to stay grounded in what matters. A respectful process and a workable outcome. So no matter what they do, it can still be a respectful process. You can still go to court and have it be a respectful process because your behavior dictates more than you realize. Your spouse will begin to mirror you. All right, so can you introduce this idea without escalating conflict, without being like shaking them and be like, wake up. This is what you need. Oh my gosh. First of all, you get a divorce, they're not listening to you no more anyway. And that communication style probably never worked in the first place. They're not going to listen to you. So you have to spin it. You have to spin. You've got to put that like news story spin on it. And instead of it being just about you, you need to focus it to just about them. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's only about them, but you are trying to convince, trying to persuade. So I need you to spin it. So it's not just about your interest, but about theirs as well. You know what? It's going to cost us a lot less money and we can get through this faster. I don't want to get through it faster. I don't even want to get a divorce. Okay. We'll address that later. We get to make this decision instead of a judge because the judge doesn't know our kids and our situation. So it keeps the power with us. We don't have to be in agreement on everything in order to try mediation. That's the whole point. We're going to mediation because we can't agree. And if we can agree on some things, but there is a couple things that we just can't find movement on, we can still go see a judge. Okay? It's got to be neutral. It's got to be low pressured. It can't be, you can't make them feel like they're in control of you or that they're making a bad decision. So you can send a short little message. Here's why I think we should try mediation. You can share one of my blog posts or one of my videos or one of my reels, something. You want to definitely avoid blame and emotional language. Also, just because you found, say, me as a mediator, there are other mediators out there. So if your spouse doesn't want to work with me because you found me, go. If they find other mediators, oh, okay, that's fine. We met with Claudia, but you feel like she's on my side. She's not, but okay, do you have another mediator you want us to meet? I'm happy to go meet with that other mediator. And if you work with someone else, because that's who your spouse wants to work with, do it. Do it, right? Get your mediation on and get this divorce done. So if they still say no, and I already forgot the point I was coming back to, and it is gone. I'm sorry. If I remember it, great. If I don't, leave me a comment below. Be like, girl, you forgot to address this. I'll write back in the comments. If they still say no, I need you to get organized. Work on your paperwork. Work on those financial disclosures. File your stuff. Be thinking about parenting plans and what would work for you. You can work with me as a conflict coach. Now, if you work with me as a conflict coach, then that will disqualify me from serving as your future mediator because then I'm no longer neutral. That's okay. That's okay. If you have started this process, your spouse is not wanting to mediate, so you're like, I'm going to work with a conflict coach to help me approach my spouse differently to tamp down on this conflict. And then all of a sudden they change their mind and they want to mediate. I'm the president of a mediation association. I got mediators. I can refer you to several high quality mediators that you can work with. It is going to be okay. I also have a couple of people who are really good parenting plan coaches. Like, they are really, really good. Now, they can work with you and your spouse, but they can also just work with you. So that's an option as well. One of the most important things is to let your actions speak for themselves. Let your actions speak for you. Don't say you want a peaceful resolution and then cuss them out in the parking lot. Don't say that we're going to mediate this and reach agreement and then be inflexible and have no movement and be very contentious. Go behind their back and stuff. You have to have your actions speak for you. And this means no matter how much they have wronged you, You have to be the bigger person. I once spoke to someone, hey, you should probably be doing this, 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 and this. And they said to me, Claudia, are you saying that you want me to be the bigger person? I was like, yes, yes, I need you to be the bigger person. That would be great in this situation. And they said to me, I just don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. And they didn't. And they got divorced, and they did get divorced in their 6-month time period. Oh, it was contentious. They got divorced. They could have resolved a lot less conflict. They could have prevented a lot of conflict if they've just chosen to act respectfully, but they didn't want to do it. This is not the time to be a child. People will be hurt for you. Your friends and family care for you. So when you've been wronged by an intimate partner, they feel like their job is to hate forever. There's this one clip from the show 911, and one person was talking to the other, and she was like, you can forgive because that's your partner. My job as your friend is to hate forever. Something like that. They're going to hate forever. They're just going to do that. And so if you're receiving advice from these people, that's all they know. That's all they know, especially if they haven't been through a divorce yet. Hopefully they never have to go through that. That's all they know. So you probably shouldn't take advice from those people like that. You should take advice from people who have walked your path before you and have chosen a different way to do it, who have chosen to be respectful in the face of disrespect. That does not mean accepting abuse and allowing abuse to happen, but it does mean monitoring your own responses, dealing with your own hurt, your own trauma, getting healing, being in therapy, finding coaching, so that you get to be the bigger person, so that you can look back on that part of your life of your divorce and be like, I was a shit. I was good. I did a good MF job. Yes, I did. You need to look back and be proud of yourself. And the funny thing is as you work on yourself and you begin to walk in forgiveness, forgiveness does not mean forgetting. Forgiveness does not mean reconciling. Forgiveness just means letting go. It doesn't mean letting off the hook. I mean, we can do a whole video on forgiveness if you really want that. Forgiveness is about you and your own healing. It has nothing to do with the other person. But as you approach your divorce and begin to be the bigger person, your spouse will begin to mirror that. And it could be that mediation becomes an option later. Your spouse might be tired of the conflict. They may have met someone else and want to get married again. I don't know why. They may. Okay. They may realize, man, this is expensive and I'm exhausted and I'm just ready to be done. And they're ready to settle. Sometimes time has a way of helping people just go, this is stupid. I am done. Let's settle. Great. Maybe they heard about a nightmare horror story from their friend about their divorce and was like, oh, I don't really, they don't want to do it. Or maybe the hurt and the pain and the emotions have calmed down because your behavior has changed. And so they suddenly feel safe. Even though you weren't attacking them in the first place, they're like, oh, well, they're not going to attack me. Yeah, I was never going to attack you, but cool. I'm glad my behavior can show you that. Suddenly, mediation becomes safe, and then you can settle. So you can't force mediation. Mediation is a process that you both have to walk into willingly. Even when the court forces you to mediate, those don't usually go well. Okay, but for mediation, we're talking about you can't force your spouse to come and mediate, but you can open up the door to resolution down the road. If you get stuck, if they're difficult, then just think about yourself and really go, how can I work on myself? How can I get some conflict coaching? How can I deal with my emotions? How can I get into therapy? Working on yourself is going to change your spouse's behavior. It's going to change it. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. If somebody else can use this video, please be a good friend and pass it along. If you've got ideas for other videos that you want me to make, please leave me a comment below. And if you need to schedule a time to talk with me to find out if mediation would work for you or how paperwork should go, there's a link below this video in the description. Please schedule a free 15-minute call with me so we can have a conversation and I can point you in the right direction or see if I can help. Have a great day. Stay strong. Be the bigger person.